Hey there, guys, and welcome to my Dangonronpa End of Hope Peak Academy retrospective thingy. I wasn't sure I was going to do this because I kind of gave a pretty good summation of the series at the end of the last episode, I think. But in discussing the last episode in comments, I did realize there was something that I didn't talk about, and I kind of want to. So, it was something I hadn't fully thought about until I was debating it. And first of all, let me just say thank you / shout out to Golden Beast. He was the one that had me think about it and was discussing it with me. And I actually realized that the two of us more or less had the exact same thought process. It was just the way I was phrasing it made it seem like let me just what we're going to talk about is Junko, and how I don't really agree or appreciate the way I feel like that the anime made a pretty major oversight in how they approached Junko, specifically in the Despair arc. And I talked about this a few times as I was watching it, how I just sort of felt like Junko fell in my summation after watching the anime because it took her. It basically kind of showed her as just being lucky rather than being this, great mastermind that brought the world to its knees. And the response I got from that was effectively well, it doesn't sound like you truly understand just how good Junko is at analyzing things. Which is a fair statement, kind of. The reason I say kind of is because I don't really appreciate how good she is at planning ahead because the anime never really showed it. The only time it ever actually showed Junko really planning ahead was her encounter with Juzo. Every other time, it kind of seems like Junko just sort of lucked into the resources she needed in order to succeed. And let me just break it down and kind of really talk about what I'm seeing here. Junko shows up in the Despair arc about, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes in. And when she gets off the bus, she's talking to Makuro about, that they're here and they're going to bring the school down. And, I mean, she's obviously already, roaring to go with her, Despair Forever plan. She's ready to cause the event. And then she breaks into the research labs and encounters Izuru because she had, I think she had hacked into the school and she knew that they were doing some Ultimate Hope plan in there and she wanted to disrupt it, although she didn't realize it was a person. But when she finds Izuru, her first impulse is to kill him, which horrifically fails. Doesn't work at all. And then after, when she's laying in the corner, she looks at him and is like, oh, wait, okay, I can work with this. So Izuru was obviously something she had absolutely no idea would be there whenever she went to Hope's Peak. Whenever she went to Hope's Peak and was about to implement the plan and cause the event, she did not know Izuru would be there. Similarly, when she leaves the hospital, she runs into Mitarai. And again, she had no idea Mitarai was going to be at Hope's Peak. That was not part of her initial plan. Which makes me stop and say, okay, then what the hell was her initial plan? Because what we actually see her do is go out, brainwash a whole bunch of mooks, use them as protection and as servants in order to cause the plan to take place. If you think about it, if Mitarai hadn't been there, then Juzo would have just stopped her right at the plan's beginning, and she wouldn't have been able to do most of what she did for the plan. She certainly couldn't have staged an attack on Hope's Peak or anything like that. And if Izuru hadn't been there, then Nagito would have just straight up shot her in the head. So both of those two individuals who Junko had absolutely no idea would be present ended up being pivotal in letting the plan happen and in keeping Junko from being killed. Now, granted, I'm sure a lot of you are already going down to comments and typing, well, yeah, but if Junko planned ahead based on the fact that she had Izuru and Mitarai. She wouldn't have taken the same actions if they hadn't been there because she knows, she knew the capabilities of the people she was arrayed against, and she wouldn't have put herself in that position unless she had the protection. Which, absolutely fair statement. However, the two reasons I kind of have to be skeptical about it is, one, as we said, she broke into the research lab before she knew about either Mitarai or Izuru. So she was already starting to enact her plan before she met either of these pivotal characters. And granted, it's impossible for me to sit here and say, well, this would have happened, this would have happened, this would have happened, because I don't know exactly what Junko's next move would have been. But I think that's exactly my problem. For someone that's supposed to be so good at planning ahead and looking at what are the capabilities of the people that I'm fighting against, I don't know what her plan was. She went in there and she immediately basically attacked the school, and then when the school pushed back, the only thing that saved her were things that she hadn't planned for. She got saved by events that she didn't know would be there to save her. So, it's possible that she had a whole bunch of other contingency plans that whenever she got Izuru ended up not being necessary, but the anime didn't sell me on that. The anime didn't show that. The anime just kind of shows a bunch of circumstances happening and Junko wins because of them, which does not make me think she's the ultimate. Like I said, the only time we really see her planning ahead is her encounter with Juzo. Every other significant scene where she's in, it really feels like she's going in there without a full understanding of precisely what will happen, and she's just curious of what the end result will be. The Student Council is a great example of that. Student Council is another place where Izuru saves Junko's life. Well, okay, maybe not. Student Council is a circumstance where initially some of the Student Council wanted to take down Junko and Izuru wouldn't let them, and then at the end, the one guy with the gun, Izuru, killed him as well. But it's very likely that... Okay, no, I'm sorry. I misremember that. It was Makuro that would have protected her at the beginning. So you know what Student Council would have gone through, except for the fact that one person survived and had a gun, which, granted, he tried to kill Izuru with it, not Junko. So it is very possible that Junko actually removed herself from any immediate danger. So Student Council may not be a good example of that. I retract that statement. But I hopefully you can kind of understand why frustration. I want Junko to be awesome. I want Junko to be someone that absolutely, I want her doing like light Yagami level crap going on, I want her planning everything that will happen. And apparently, based on some of the graphic novels, that's exactly what she's doing. But this anime is not showing that. It's not telling me that. It's not making me believe in Junko as an extraordinary individual. Instead, it's kind of making me look at Junko as someone with someone that can adapt to changing situations very quickly, which is impressive, but not nearly as cool as the psychological analyst that figures out what makes you tick and then twists you. So that's my big takeaway. That said, other things that happen in the anime. The last episode I was actually really happy with. I do understand that there's some people that aren't. There's some people that say that it robs some of the impact of the second game by having everyone come back and survive. But I don't disagree with it. If Izuru is every ultimate, then yeah, he should be able to bring them back out of the simulation and undo their coma. He's the ultimate pharmacist and the ultimate nurse and the ultimate doctor and the ultimate trauma surgeon. He's everything. So, I don't mind the last episode. I understand the people that are upset. It's sort of like, if at the end of, if after episode 6 of Star Wars, hopefully I'm not spoiling Star Wars for anyone here, there was some game came out that resurrected Darth Vader. And it's just like, but that completely robs the impact of a very specific scene. Even now, I'm trying to prevent spoilers from a movie that's 30 years old. But yeah, it's like I understand that. I understand that a lot of the poignancy of Danganronpa 2 is the people's decision. I would rather be a vegetable than be a despair. And to just have them all come back and have their, oh look, it's a happy ending. I do appreciate whenever things are allowed to have an unhappy ending, are allowed to have an actual impactful ending that leaves you, I don't want to say hurting, but leaves you respecting. And I do agree that I don't feel that, I feel like the ending, brought everything back into a nice little bow. And yeah, Hajime, I don't know why Mitsurai listened to Hajime, because Mitsurai should have had no fucking clue who Hajime was. But these are nitpicks. Overall, I thought the anime was well animated. The musical choices, fit very well. It was very, very enjoyable to watch. I just feel like they made a lot of decisions that don't really make sense based on what we've seen before. And I have a hard time accepting the Junko they showed. Although, like I said, I don't actually think that it lowers my opinion of Junko. I think it makes me question the animators and the directors. Because I think they wanted to show a cool Junko and, have a lot of action going on, so they didn't show Junko doing what Junko does. And that's unfortunate, Junko's best attribute is her ability to plan for various scenarios, but she didn't actually get to do that. Kitty. Bad. Anyway, I'll go ahead and stop rambling now. I think I've made my point. In about 2 days, we will be starting Undertale. Someone did ask in comments, and I did not respond because I'm rude. We will be playing the Steam version of Undertale because that's what I have. Deal with it. See you next time, guys.